Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me. I know I've got a few people in the chat: Marco, Kenneth, Joshua, Braxton, Wild Ninja, Robro, Glenn Sanderson. How you doing, guys? 81 concurrent views so far, which is pretty cool. We're gonna get into it, guys, in just a few moments. But first things first, welcome back. I haven't been here for a long time. Welcome back to the chat, troops. Got a number of things I want to kind of go through first before we get into like the nitty gritty bit of what's going on in Iran and stuff like that. And we'll get into that in a few moments. How many people have we got? 98 concurrent, nearly 100 guys. I can't really complain. Bearing in mind, I haven't been online in how long now? Months, I think. But there's good reason for that. There's good reason for that. So, first things first, welcome back, guys. Glad to have you back. Thanks for showing the support as well. 100 views, wasn't expecting that so early on. So, happy days. Secondly, smash that like button. If we can get 100 likes, that would be great. Third, my wife gave birth 5 weeks ago. About 5 weeks ago? What's the date? 25th. So, yeah, about 5 weeks ago now. So been pretty preoccupied with that, guys, getting squared away and stuff. That's child number 2, daughter number 2. So you can understand the few more wrinkles on the forehead. That's what that is. And I haven't been able to do the live streams. I just haven't been able to warrant like getting away on the evening when my wife needs help and my kids need me. So I've been quiet for that reason, and pretty much the reason why I haven't been putting too much content out during the day as well. So that's that. Thanks for all the wishes, guys. Congratulations. Thank you for all the congrats, troops. Thank you. Yeah, wife and baby doing fine. Settled into it pretty well, to be honest with you. So that's all good. But back to business now. I've got a few things that I want to kind of get into. I want to do on the channel. So this is us getting amongst it, really. So yeah, guys, lots to get involved with. Carl Green, family first, yeah, family first. But family first has kind of put me back into this position where I've realigned my thoughts of what I want to do and stuff. Still want to develop the channel a little bit more than what it currently is, but we're working on that, all right? The process is taking place right now. So let's just get straight to the bit of news that I want to tell you, or what I can tell you. For months and months and months and months, probably we're getting into years now, you've heard me talk about wanting to get involved in the influencer boxing scene. I can't say too much more other than I will be getting involved now. I've signed a non-disclosure agreement. I'm allowed to say that, but I'm not allowed to talk about the specifics of who I've signed with or anything like that yet. And I'm gonna respect that that NDA and just go through with it that way. But I can tell you that I have been signed. It's ready to go. Okay, so I'm currently trying to get my fat ass in some shape, which is going slowly but steadily. I have to focus on weight loss at the moment to be able to get to a certain fight weight. Again, I'm not going to mention any weights and stuff like that specifically, but what I will tell you at the moment is I'm about 220 pounds at 5'10". So although I can fight at that weight, if I want to be competitive and give myself a bit of an extra chance to succeed, I need to drop down a considerable amount. Okay, I am small, I am stocky. All right, I've got a bit of weight on my belly to get off. So 220, 215, yeah, easy, man. But that being said, in terms of the new type of content and stuff like that, or an additional types of content, the boxing thing is going to be it is going to be getting pushed a lot more, all right? And the reason being is I want to be able to promote myself in the best way, so I need you guys to support that. But I'm going to continue to do what I like to do and keep the channel military orientated and military updates and stuff like that, which is going to be hopefully giving you a little bit more extra stuff regards to boxing. And if you like boxing and watching that type of stuff, then hopefully I'll be on a pay-per-view sometime in the near future. All right, which is pretty good, but I can't say too much about who or what or where, when and why and all of that. But it's big, troops. All right, I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be out there. Trust me. All right, I'm excited. So I can't wait to be able to give you the full details. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks potentially, but it's going to be good, man. And all I needed was a break, and the right person has allowed me the opportunity to be able to show these influencers what it's all about. I just genuinely can't wait. All right, because I think I'll do some damage in a good way. I think I'll be able to kick some ass. I'm not joking. All right. Before we get into the video itself, as per the title, a little bit more on that. Not to brag, you hear me talk a lot about the military and stuff like that. I don't know if there is such a thing as a natural soldier, a natural Marine, but there was certainly guys who I was in training with who took to the soldiering aspect a lot easier than, for instance, someone like me. I worked really hard to be able to meet the standard. I worked hard at becoming a Marine and getting a green lid. All right, it wasn't easy. I found nothing easy about training. Everything was difficult, physically, mentally, emotionally. You name it. It was tough. It wasn't easy for me. It didn't come naturally, is what I'm trying to say. But boxing kind of did. All right, I don't know if that was because it was an age thing, but when I was young, you know, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I'm great, but I managed to get a green beret. That's pretty hard, and I think I worked hard at that. I wasn't natural, but I was a natural fighter. So I think I'll do well in this influencer space. Anyway, that's it on that. Let's get into it. So, what are we gonna do? How many minutes are we into this? Let me see. Where's my timer? This is how long it's been. How long have we been on at the moment? A few minutes. Right, where's my analytics gone? 2 seconds, troops. I need to figure out how long we've been doing this. Where is it? It's on this screen. I know it is. Time. Where are we? 10 minutes. Wow, 10 minutes. Time flies. So yeah, there's a few things with this that helps anyone out with the stream. I'll not mention it throughout. I'll mention it at the beginning as always, troops. The things that help us out is if you smash that like and you share the video. Those are two of the most important things. Being here is the most important thing. But third, last but not least, if you want to support me, you can do that a number of ways. If you can either join the Patreon below, where you'll see ad-free, uncensored content. The key to that is uncensored. There's things I can't show on YouTube for obvious reasons. Now the guidelines are getting stricter and stricter every day. If you want to support me and you want to see the uncensored stuff, the reactions to things that I just can't do on YouTube, that's where it's going to be at. And I'll be brutally honest with my reactions on there. And yeah, it's a good place to be. Please consider joining on Patreon. The link is in the description, and in a few moments, I'll bang it in the chat. Secondly, you can super chat. Super chat's a great way for you to interact. If you want to get your what you've got to say highlighted as well to me, I'm going to respect all the super chats, guys. All right, I try to get through the chat anyway, but if it's a super chat, I'm stopping everything and I'm reading that chat. It just out of respect. That's the way we do things, guys, and also helps me out. So that's that. Admin out the way, troops. Background changed a little bit since the last time. I don't really like the current setup with the background. The one before I really liked, but if you were in my garage, you'd realize it just wasn't functional at all. All right, so we had to change it about, and in the next couple of months or so, I think I'm gonna try and spend a few pennies on getting it up to date again and looking nice, because I wanted to get a boxing bag in here. That's the reason why, so I can do a few stuff. 210 viewers, man. Happy days. I've been watching a lot of Weird while we're on the boxing. Been watching a lot of Weird at the moment. And that whole scenario is crazy, guys. That whole scenario is crazy. I don't know why I mentioned that. I wanted to try and get him on the maybe to talk boxing and stuff like that, but he's apparently not with Misfits anymore, so that's pretty sad. Anyway, Iran. You've all seen it in the news. If you haven't, I don't know what you've been doing. But what I want to jump into straight off the bat is this to start with. There we go. So this is the first thing I want to do. I want to have a look at this map. There's not a lot on here in comparison to, for instance, the Ukraine, for obvious reasons. What's going on here? So, one day ago, we were a little bit late. I was going to do it yesterday. Iranian militias on alert in towns of Al Mayadeen and Al Bukamal, with evacuation of the headquarters amid intense fights at international coalition aircraft over the region. Where is the one I was talking about? Yeah, this one. Biden, the United States does not seek conflict with Iran, but we are ready to strike hard to protect our citizens. So just as you think, things can't get worse in the world, Iran, America seems to be kicking back in. We don't need need them type of we don't need those type of wars again, guys. We really don't, man. Our time in the Middle East was long overdue to get the hell out of there anyway. We don't need to be back there. All right, we just need to leave them alone, I think. US President Biden, there was an attack on our forces in Syria yesterday by Iranian-backed groups, and I have been instructed to respond quickly. So obviously, granted, depending on what the information is, depends on how you respond, isn't it? But I don't think anyone wants to see this crap, guys, all right? Let me put a different scene on for this, actually. In fact, I'll ask you in the chat, do you want to see this screen up whilst I'm reading it? Or do you want me to read it as I'm doing it like this and then responding to your comments? I'll try it this way. So this is the headline, the first headline that I actually read today on the matter. I wanted to kind of save it for this. So Syria attacks, Biden warns Iran, US will act forcefully to protect Americans. That's a fair statement. I mean, the United States would act accordingly to protect Americans no matter where they are. I think that should have been the word for that. Obviously, nice words don't really sell, though, do they? So Biden warns Iran that the US will act forcefully to protect Americans. Could have just put act accordingly, to protect Americans. US President says he does not seek conflict with Iran, but warns of consequences as Tehran-backed forces and US personnel launch attacks. President Joe Biden has warned Iran that the United States will act forcefully to protect Americans after the US military carried out airstrikes against Iran-backed forces in retaliation for an attack in Syria. Make no mistake, the United States does not seek conflict with Iran, but be prepared for us to act forcefully to protect our people, Biden told reporters during a visit to Canada. I'm guessing that was yesterday. Asked whether there should be a higher cost for Iran, Biden replied, "We're not going to stop." So the tensions are rising, troops. This is the next thing, man, isn't it? It comes after an attack on Thursday killed an American contractor and wounded 5 US troops and another contractor. Washington has said a drone of Iranian origin was used in the attack. 2 US officials. This is the thing. A drone of Iranian origin was used in the attack, but so drones are being used all over the place. Of Iranian origin, not all over the place, but you get my drift. Like, the Iranian drones are being used in Ukraine at this moment in time by Russia. All right, you need to be crystal clear when you're trying to identify individuals responsible for things, because it's highly likely that it's Iran. You don't truly know at this moment in time. They're not being specific. They're just saying of Iranian origin. All right, it was used in the attack. Now, two US officials speaking on condition of anonymity said it appeared that the defense system of the base had failed, which is a big problem when you think about, American technology, all of that. It's I like to think of America's technology up there with the best there is, not just based on opinion, but based on, working with these guys, working alongside, based on literature. It states that, they are right up there with regards to technological advancements in their military. But, their budget as well, unless it was really heavily, how can I put it? Their budget doesn't lie, does it? If you don't have decent kit and equipment for the budget that they've got, there's a lot of fraud going on. All right, and you can't defraud the military for that much, can you? I mean, they're pumping billions and billions into their military. It's expected for them to be technologically advanced. So the fact that an Iranian drone actually got through the defensive systems on the base itself, that's pretty worrying. Now, there could be a number of reasons for that. The technology has failed. The technology, I don't want to say it isn't good enough, because I can't believe that it's not going to be good enough. That doesn't make any sense. Or human error behind it. There can always be the human error element. Although, depending on how technologically advanced the technology is for the defense systems, I highly doubt that the professional soldiers of the US military would have been the problem. But yeah, one US official told Reuters that troops on the ground did not appear to have enough time to react to the drone. Now, the only way you would be able to expect the troops on the ground to react quick, efficiently, accordingly, is one, by luck. You've seen this thing with your Mark 1 eyeball in advance to be able to react to it. Or two, the defense systems in which you are expecting to work as they should have notified you of an incoming threat, which is clearly not happened. All right, that hasn't happened. They've neither seen it in advance or been warned of it in advance via the technology that they're using. So two failings, really. All right. I mean, it's not every day you expect a drone to attack your base in certain areas, but it's happened anyway. Now, US forces that were stationed in Syria have been attacked with drones before, but deaths are rare. The violence could further aggravate already strained relations between Washington and Tehran as attempts to revive a 2015 nuclear deal between Iran and major powers stalled, and with Iranian drones being used by Russia against Ukraine. So this is the bit that's interesting. We're talking about Russia, Ukraine, the problems they're in, the problems people have, who you support, what team you're on. And obviously, if you look into months and months ago, the fact that Iran started supporting indirectly Russia with supplying them with, I think it's the Shiite drone. I can't remember what's the name of it. Shite or something. It sounds like shite, but it's I can't remember the name. If you can drop it in the chat. They're obviously supporting them with drones. It's not going to please Russia. America's not going to be too happy with that, are they? I say America, NATO in general, but at the end of the day, America is the big boy in this puzzle in terms of NATO. They're the main funders, they're the biggest guys. Globally speaking, they're certainly the biggest in NATO. So they have a lot of pulling power. So when I'm saying America, I'm saying it because effectively, directly, indirectly, they're the top boy in NATO, aren't they? So that's why I'm saying that. They're going to be the ones that's upset with regards to this. So it just seems a little convenient that, you've had a little bit of an offensive with one of these drones in Syria itself. And going back to the sentence that we said before, they were talking about the drone that was used was of Iranian origin. They didn't say that the people that used the drone of Iranian origin were Iranian themselves. So you get what I'm saying? I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here and be on the fence. It seems like, if they wanted a reason to be able to get back at Syria, and they've got a bloody good reason. It doesn't matter who was in control of that drone. Okay, it could have been it could have been anyone. All right, it's Iranian. It's in Iran. That's enough for them, I guess. Okay. One of the guys in the comments says Shiite. Yeah. So Shiite or shite in where I come from is shit. All right. Truth says Iran concerns me, but what the regional counterbalance is now signed on with them, the others in the natural region counterbalance. Yeah. Get your thoughts in the comments, guys. Again, if you want a super chat, that would be great. To see if it actually bloody works as well. I don't know if I got the stream set up properly, but yeah, it's kicking off, man, and it seems not convenient. Convenience is the wrong word, but again, if anyone wanted a reason to be able to hit back at Syria for the supply of these drones in Russia, it would make sense, wouldn't it, to start hitting them? But the violence could further aggravate already strained relations. We've read that already. The Pentagon had said US F-15 jets on Thursday attacked 2 facilities used by groups affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, which monitors the war in Syria, said the US airstrikes had killed 8 pro-Iranian fighters. Reuters were unable to identify, confirm the toll. Suspected US rockets fire on Friday targeted new areas in eastern Syria, according to 2 local sources with no casualties reported. Pro-Iranian forces in Syria said in an online statement late on Friday that they have long arm to respond to further US strikes on their positions. Hey, Carl Green, thank you for the... Is that a super chat or is that a super sticker? Super sticker. Hey, we've got that answered then. That worked. Carl Green, thank you. I think you've been regular on the channel before. I appreciate you, bro. Daz J, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, you've done. That's a super chat. Thank you for the £5, my friend. British. Let's go. I think it's working. It's working, guys. Confirmed and grateful. Thank you. Happy days, man. Let's go. Let's go, chat. That's what it's all about, man. Let's go. That's Jay. Let's get the questions in then. It's working. Let's get the quizzes in. So, before I get into the rest of this article, I think a lot of people don't know this. Now, obviously, in the whole world, I probably wasn't the first. But amongst all of the top guys doing it, I was one of the very, 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 very first people to start doing this right here on Ukraine. Okay? No one was doing it. I was doing it, and I stopped, and then boom, everyone came. And if I just held on an extra couple of weeks or months, boom, we would have had loads and loads and loads of views. And that's why this has happened. I want to get on it. I want to start doing it. And I'm going to keep consistent with it if it materializes, because there's some big names now from Ukraine who's just literally blew their channels up. And I stopped after a few weeks. It still pains me to this day because I was one of the originals. But hey, you live and you learn. We're doing this. We're on it. Kelty. How do you pronounce your name, dude? Kelty? Thank you for the super chat. You're saying, can you explain why the US is still in Syria? Well, this is many different reasons, politically, militarily, you name it. But if you look at the areas in which the United States has been actively engaged in war with, they normally leave a contingent of... I'll explain it simply. Iraq happened, okay? Iraq is no longer happening. It's over. But left behind it was waves of private military contractors who were permanently stationed there, keeping security. And these, I've got mates who's out in Iraq and these places right now on private military contracts, making a lot of money for business that's being created as a result of this. Protection. It's the protection game. So you've got to understand the economy of war doesn't stop when the war stops. Like in Afghanistan now, you've got private military contractors left behind to be able to keep the one business. So there's a lot of money to be had in war, guys. All right, it generates insane amounts of money even after it's occurred. A good question, that, Kelty. Professor Praxis, thank you for your super chat. I've never seen you on the channel before, I don't think. Thank you. You're saying, I'm an American and I love your content. I wish we had a stronger position on the world stage right now. What, in terms of America having a stronger position on the world stage? I think they've got the strongest. Not even being biased either. You've got issues in the States, definitely, as is every country. But you got a pretty strong position on the world stage, buddy. Militarily, that speaks for itself, man. I don't think anyone can argue that case, if that's how I'm reading your question right anyway. David Catalano, he's saying, God bless you. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Although my service was short and sweet, 6-ish years or so, I'm quite proud of it, man. Speaking of which, look what I found. Found my original Delta Company 40 Commando Royal Marines T-plaque. It's the little things, eh? Thank you for the super chats, troops. I really do appreciate it, man. Like, seriously, thank you. Anyway, back to the article. Keep filling the questions in, guys, and if I need to go back on stuff, then let me know. Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, which monitors the war in Syria, said the US strikes had killed 8 pro-Iranian fighters. Reuters were unable to confirm the toll. Hey, Colonel Hubbard, welcome to Agenda Members Club. I forgot I even had members on the channel. Welcome. You get a little star asterisk or something next to your name if you want to become a member. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Now, suspected US rocket fire on Friday targeted new areas in East Syria, according to 2 local sources, with no casualties reported. Pro-Iranian forces in Syria said in an online statement late on Friday that they have a long arm to respond to further US strikes on their position. Let me read that again. Pro-Iranian forces in Syria said in an online statement on Friday that they have a long arm to respond to further US strikes on their positions. I'm just taking that as it reads, that it's going to be a back and forth. Both are prepared to go back and forth as well. That's what I'm reading it as. I don't know if you're reading it the same way. Iran's press state TV said no Iranians have been killed and quoted local sources as saying the target was not an Iran-aligned military post, but that a rural development centre and a grain centre near a military airport had been hit. Still. All right, am I missing something in the chat? Who said something funny? I'm just seeing Kelty, please. What's going on? What's Kelty said? I can't see it. I can't see it. So yeah, a grain centre had been hit near a military airport, a rural development centre. Yeah, nothing too big. The only thing big about that, I'm guessing, is the fact that it was near a military airport, I guess. The US strikes were a response to a drone attack earlier on Thursday on a base near Hassak in northeast Syria, operated by US-led coalition battling the remnants of Islamic State. Is that still happening? Man, I wish I could talk about some of the stories with. Yeah, this is the thing. That's why you need to join. Patreon. Let me get a link for you guys, actually. Some stories that I can't really talk on here of some of my friends who were working as private military contractors in Iraq and in Syria, and it's mental, man. Some of the shit, some of the stuff that, yeah. Let me get the Patreon. That is the link, troops. I'll bang it in there for you, just for reference. Patreon, ad free, which some people don't really care about ads, but it's uncensored. All right, I can say what I want on there, which is nice. So 3 service members and a contractor required a medical evacuation to Iraq, while 2 wounded American troops were treated at the base. So 3 service members and a contractor, so like 4 people evacuated to Iraq, whilst 2 of them wounded American troops were treated on base. Getting treated on base, and American troops getting treated on base, that's, yeah, you're going to still have, that's not necessarily a bad thing, being treated on base if you were severely wounded in an area that is hostile. You'd probably want to get out the country, which is what was happening in Afghanistan. All right, you're getting treated at Bastion, and then those who really needed to get the hell out of there were getting Kazivaked to Britain and stuff. All right, and other countries for more serious stuff. So it also says it's not uncommon for Iranian-backed groups to fire missiles at US bases in Syria after they are hit with airstrikes. So this could be seen as a bit of a retaliation to what's going on over there, the remnants of fighting Islamic State. For most people, it's long forgotten about, really, isn't it? The fact that IS is still actually ongoing over there. We heard, we've toppled IS ages ago. Obviously, there's still remnants of them knocking about. Hence the reason you've got private military contractors over there and other military factions linked to the United States. Anthony Coscoigne, I think I've pronounced your name right. Thank you for the super chat, brother. What are you saying? You're saying, I spent 11 years in Iraq and Afghanistan directly working with US troops and multinational force Iraq, still directly supporting our troops since being back home, working military health systems. Anthony, I would be interested to hear what you've been involved in. If you can speak freely on that, or to a degree freely, that would be pretty interesting. I'd like to hear your... Right, so I'll fire the question that was fired to me earlier. Why are we still in Iraq? And I say we, America. Private military contractors, certain contingents of US troops, yada, yada, yada. Why are we still there? Hopefully we get a more thorough answer from someone who's been out there and done it, spent more time in Iraq than I did in the military. So thank you for your... I'm not sure if you've worked in the military, but either way, that's a hell of a lot of time and has to be respected. I respect that, man. If you're just tuning in, thank you, troops. It's been a long time. I'm hearing someone saying, get with Funkers 530, Ryan. The thing is, I'm happy to do these different takes with different YouTube channels, but being brutally honest and humble, I'm not in these guys' leagues. The likes of Funker 530 and stuff, and who's that other guy? Speak the Truth. These guys know their shit. Them know what they're talking about. I look at news articles, I make my own opinions on it, but it's not really coming with a real thorough intellectual backing, from education or anything. I haven't got that. Them seem to be really clued up on it. I'm not going to pretend to be. So yeah, I'll be intimidated to be on with them guys because they know loads more than me. If that makes sense. It's good to understand where your weaknesses are, guys. Colonel Hubbard says IS is still in Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, and at least 7 countries in Africa. they're backed by Iran. Am I right in saying they have an influence in certain areas of the Philippines? Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, back to this article, troops. Sorry. So yeah, we're getting back to that. It's with regards to Iranian-backed groups. It's not uncommon for them to be firing on US troops, attacking their bases to some degree, specifically post US-backed airstrike. So you're talking about retaliations in some way, shape, or form. This one has just made the news recently because it's probably had a little bit more of an effect. US forces first deployed into Syria during the Obama administration's campaign against Islamic State, partnering with a Kurdish-led group called the Syrian Democratic Forces. There are about 900 US troops in Syria, most of them in the east. US troops have been attacked by Iranian-backed groups about 78 times since the beginning of 2021, according to the US military, whilst Islamic State has lost the areas of Syria and Iraq it ruled over in 2014. Sleeper cells still carry out hit-and-run attacks in desolate areas where neither the US-led coalition nor the Syrian army exert full control. It's the problem when you go into countries, you cause problems, you get out of there to a degree. It's a power struggle, it's a power shift. Everyone wants a piece of the power pie. And that's what we see in all of these countries that were formerly part of war. Right? And this is one thing I want people to understand. Being part of the military for me is not... I'm not like... I'm on the fence with most of my opinions with things, but I'm certainly not like pro-war. Certainly not like pro past wars that's happened. I think there's been a lot of bloodshed that our countries have been responsible for, needless. I just think, war is just so unnecessary in many, many circumstances. Anyway. So that's that article. Who was that by? That was by The Guardian. Okay, take that as you wish, guys. Now, several more attacks against US base in Syria after alleged Iranian drone kills American contractor drawing airstrikes. So it's American contractor, private military contractor, whatever you want to call it. Someone who's getting paid by private company to carry out security forces, a security contract, okay, in some way, shape, or form. So work that I was involved in to a degree, in the close protection world, call it what you want. OHMS, OMS, thank you for the super chat. You're saying Vladimir Putin has made a deal with Belarus to store tactical nuclear weapons there, Reuters say. Yeah, Belarus is a strange one. We're going slightly off topic, but I don't mind for the super chat. Belarus has obviously got close ties with Russia, not just geographically, but politically as well. They're in each other's back pockets and stuff with regards support. But if you look at where they are geographically, I guess they kind of... It's best they try to get on with Russia, because that would just be pretty easy for Russia to mull over, and it wouldn't look good for Belarus if they weren't that way. So I think Belarus just does as it's told, quite frankly. Okay, they do as they're told. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they're storing tactical nuclear weapons there. This article says, and this might be going over things a little bit similar to what we mentioned before, but we'll go over this article anyway, guys, and we're going to get into a little bit of a few videos and stuff, actually. A US service member was wounded. See, the same service member and then the same private military contractor. So what is it? these titles are strange. A U.S. service member was wounded in a series of new attacks Friday targeting U.S. bases in Syria following Thursday's fatal drone attack on a U.S. base. A U.S. official confirmed to CBS News on Thursday a U.S. contractor was killed and 5 U.S. service members and a second U.S. contractor wounded. All right, so it's all over with the terminology. James Anglim, thank you for your super chat, brother. Semper Fi, brother. Hey, Pemar Petaram. Wish for peace, but prepare for war. Love your work. Have a pint on me. One day I'll make it across the pond and you can buy me one, hopefully during peacetime for once. Hey, I welcome that, my friend. Thank you for your service as well, brother. I appreciate you guys. I got a lot of respect. You know, if you watched any of my videos, that I've got a soft spot for US Marines. It's just the way it goes, in it. I guess it comes with the it comes with the what's the word I'm looking for? It's just how it is, isn't it? All right, just how it is. On that note, actually, slightly off topic, I'll get back in. When I do have my first influencer boxing fight, I will not only be wearing the Royal Marine Globe and Laurel, I will have the US Marine Corps emblem on their shorts as well. 100%. They will be side by side, and you'll see that. That's one thing that I'm definitely going to be doing on my shorts. They're both going to be on there. Because I have a lot of support from the US as well. Most of my support is from the US, so I'm grateful for that. So yeah, the terminology in this. So this is the article I'm reading, guys. Let me just show you. I'll put it on this for a wee bit, so you guys can get an understanding. Let me zoom in a little bit more for you, so you can read it with us. You might not be able to see that, but let's get this off there. So a US service member was wounded in a series of new attacks Friday targeting US bases in Syria following Thursday's fatal drone attack on a US base. A US official confirmed to CBS News on Thursday a US contractor was killed and 5 US service members and a second US contractor wounded when a suspected Iranian drone hit a coalition base in Syria. According to US officials, following that initial attack, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said in a statement that US Central Command forces retaliated with precision airstrikes against facilities in eastern Syria used by groups affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Now, the Defense Department said the intelligence community had determined the unmanned aerial vehicle was used in the Thursday attack was of Iranian origin. The same ones that are being used in Ukraine by Russia, I believe, anyway. The US officials told CBS News that there were another 3 attacks Friday on US military bases in Syria since the retaliatory I can't say that. Since the retaliatory US airstrikes. A US service member was wounded in why can't I say that word? Retaliatory. That's it, isn't it? Done it. A US service member was wounded in one of these 3 attacks, the official said. US officials confirmed one of the 3 new attacks targeted an American base southeast of Syrian province of Deir ez-Zor on Friday, saying that there were lots of rockets fired, but no known US casualties, that's a good thing. Reports surfaced that a missile salvo had targeted a US base near the Al Amari oil field. The Reuters news agency and local media included a pro-Iranian outlet based in Lebanon first reported the strikes. Photos and reports on social media suggest at least one missile had missed the intended target, hitting homes in the region instead. All right, that's surely not a up-to-date photo, is it? Oh, here we go. US forces provide military training to Kurdish forces of the PPK, Hassan province, September 22. Yeah, I thought, well, it's not that old, but yeah, I thought it wasn't that new either. If that makes any sense. So 2 of the US service members wounded in Thursday attacks were treated on site, while 3 others, and the injured contractor were transported to medical facilities in Iraq. The Pentagon said President Biden expressed his condolences to the families of the Americans during a visit to Canada on Friday and said the US would not hesitate to retaliate against Iranian aggression. I believe him when he says that, because they're already there. All right, they're already there. They're already doing their thing. Militarily, private military contractors, they're all working out there, okay, doing their stuff. So yeah, I believe that. Is it easier for him to escalate when they're already there? It's pretty easy. All right, it's just a phone call away. All right, the escalations will be according to the threat, okay. And the fact is, they seem to be getting coming under a lot more small scale attacks. Obviously bar the drone one, that's pretty big, okay. But yeah, it seems to be heightening up over there. Seems to be getting a little bit busy, a little bit saucy, guys. Last night, US military forces carried out a series of military strikes in Syria, targeting those responsible for attacking our personnel. He said, "My heart and deepest condolences go out to the family of the American we lost." That's terrible. You don't expect to lose anybody in these places now, but people are still, yeah, it's difficult, man. Yeah, it's difficult. You wouldn't expect one of your loved ones to get injured or killed in these areas, now knowing that we're not actively at war over there. Granted, there's problems, and obviously been battling IS and stuff like that for years. Yeah, you expect it to a degree, but not in 2023. And wish a speedy recovery for those who were wounded. The president said the US does not see conflict with Iran, but be prepared for us to act forcefully to protect our people. I think there's a bit of weight behind that with Biden for once, and I'm not one to be massively on his side either with what he says half of the time. He can't even walk in a straight line, bless the poor old bugger. But you know, he's an old guy, isn't he? But I do think there's a little bit of weight behind it. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, an opposition war monitor, said the American strikes killed 6 Iranian-backed fighters at an armed depot in Deir ez-Zor on Thursday. So the strikes that were killing them, they haven't really got boots on the ground per se, i.e. guys going up in armoured vehicles, deloading, getting off, and killing the guys. It's not happening like that. They're striking these people, which they've been doing for a long time. The observatory, which relies on a network of local contracts in Syria, said the US also bombed an outpost near the town of Mayadeen, killing another 2 fighters. I haven't heard that in the other articles. Now, a separate American strike hit a military post near the town of Bukamal along the border with Iraq. On Thursday, the observatory said CBS News has not confirmed that report. Interesting. The airstrikes were conducted in response to today's attack, as well as a series of recent attacks against coalition forces in Syria by groups affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard, Austin said, adding that he authorized the retaliatory strikes at the direction of Mr. Biden. But Biden has made clear that he will take all necessary measures to defend the people of America and will respond at a time and place of his choosing. No groups will strike our troops with impunity, he said. That's actually Austin. I was going to say those don't sound like Biden's words. Not to be horrible or anything. It just didn't seem. All right, let's look at a video on this. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a little gander at this. Incoming sound. I'll turn it down just in case it's absolutely loud as hell.
No one has claimed responsibility for the newest attack on an Iraqi airbase north of Baghdad yesterday that wounded 4 members of Iraq's military. Now, this follows Iran's missile strike. First-hand look at the damage.
I'll turn that sound off. We don't need to hear that bit. Yeah, a couple of mangled bits of metal and shit. Those photos are pretty bad.
Earlier this month. Now, there's been speculation that the Iranians deliberately missed US troops in order to avoid a further escalation in violence with the US.
Deliberately missed them? What's the point in doing it then? I don't get that. Kelly says Iran may feel emboldened after successful talks with the Saudis and China. Global power shifts are occurring at a rapid pace. Yeah, that's happening. That's definitely happening, guys. That's definitely happening. How many you got in the chat? 295. Going to take a 30-second wee break to go to the toilet. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, troops. Back in. Right, let's turn to the chat for a little bit. 2 seconds to check my phone, guys. Right, what we got? Um, 259 viewers, man. Beautiful. I wasn't expecting that many coming in. Bear in mind, I haven't done this for a long time. So thank you, troops. Really do appreciate it. Colonel Hubbard is the first member of the stream. Troops, want to become a member, press the join button. If you want to follow us on Patreon, the link is banged in the description now. Ad-free, uncensored content. The place to go, guys. All of the combat footage breakdowns that I do go on there. Because I can't simply do them on YouTube, period. Just can't do them. So we go to town on them there. We put the footage out and we do some proper combat footage breakdowns, mainly pertaining to Ukraine at the moment, because that's obviously where all the stuff's coming out. So go check it out. Just check it out. You can give it a try. All right, you've got nothing to lose, man. It's pretty good on there. I want to try and get a few more supporters on there. That'd be pretty cool. And if you're just joining us, thank you, guys. Make sure you smash that like button. How many likes has the chat got? How many likes has it got, guys? Because I can't actually see. How many likes has it got? 266 likes. Oh, I'm happy with that. I can live with that. Happy days. There we go. Ukraine is a very dangerous place to be, says Cougar Town. It certainly is. I've got Rumble, Rob. I've got Rumble. I've got it. It ain't great. It's good. Rumble's good, but it's not great. Hey, arrest takeoff. How's it going, fellow 100k plus YouTuber? How you doing, my friend? Rumble's good, but you know, you got to understand something. If you make a decision, like I've got to be honest, YouTube's been very good to me. Very, very good. So I can't complain. Yeah, there's problems, but I tell you what the problems are with Rumble, for instance. Starting out on Rumble and putting stuff on Rumble, it don't pay shit, let's be honest. So, like, you can't just be like, yes, zero censorship, and then like not earn anything. Like, especially if this is your business, then you got to just that's pointless to me. So, yeah, Rumble, long way off for me. Yeah, it just yeah. Hey, Lorraine Presnovsky, thank you for the 5. Get a comment in there next time, man. Thank you for the 5 anyway. Yeah, user interface isn't very good on Rumble either. Look, if it paid me well, then yeah, you go where the money is, don't you? But it doesn't, so I can't, man. What time is it? Where's my clock? Wow, we've been on an hour. I was gonna do an hour. I promise you that. I was gonna do an hour. We are 45 seconds, and then we are 1 hour in. So get your last questions in, troops. We're getting through the articles that I wanted to, I think. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3. I wonder if Deep State Map has got any. It's just a Ukraine thing, isn't it? Yeah. It'd be good if Deep State did stuff on Iran. I'll be honest with you, because Deep State's got the best map. I like Deep State. Red Star 1 says, how would you respond to this situation, Ryan? Militarily, I ain't got a clue, man. Honestly, politically, I ain't really got a clue. Well, I guess I can actually answer it honestly with how would I respond to this situation is by what I'm doing now, just covering it in the way that I can on my channel. So yeah, that's me being honest, just covering it in an honest way on the channel. That's how I do it. Thank you, Ryan. Nice job, bro. Glenn Hutchcraft, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Take it easy, Barry. Yeah, 2 articles. I'll keep you up to date, guys. I think this is going to be a pretty busy topic. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty busy topic. If it is, I'll keep you up to date. Chop Shop says, Ryan, I can't wait to see you do some face remodeling on your opponent. I've got to be smart with it. I've got to train. I'm trained twice a day now, but really putting effort in. Because I have to. I can't get my ass kicked in front of thousands of people. Well, probably more online. And it's hard. It's a young man's game. So I've got to train like I mean it, you know. Final questions in, troops, and then we'll wrap it up. And I'll see you in a video tomorrow, a live stream. Going to get some good live streams in the next week. I'm going to, Carl Green, when are you streaming again? I'm going to try and get 3 streams in minimum per week. But if I can get a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in, then yeah, what I want to do is try and get some live streams in during the daytime for me as well. But I don't know if it's going to be, a lot of my subscriber base is in America, so I don't know if the times are going to work out. Hence me coming on at this time, which is like, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock UK now. So I don't know, guys. But yeah, gonna try and get some streams in again, because I like talking to you guys. Right? You subscribe to the channel for a reason. It's nice to speak to you anyway. And yeah, it's good, man. And yeah, it's good. It's good. But yeah, troops, thank you for your comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for likes. To those that have joined the channel, thank you, Colonel Hubbard. For those of you that have considered joining the Patreon, which is very important for me, that I would really appreciate. If I get as many people on the Patreon as possible, that would be my biggest. I'll be very grateful. Put it that way. So yeah, thank you for all of the people that super chatted, and that's it, guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Go check out some of my content, and I'll see you later. Take it easy. Take it easy, troops. Good to speak to you. I'll be in the chat, by the way. I'm just going to put a different screen on. Boom.